While anime characters may often fight with fancy robots or bright magic, sometimes all they can really rely on is the blood they have pumping in their veins. Such is the case in today's list. Number 10.
Huh?
Breathing first into our list, we have Nezuko from Demon Slayer. Everyone's favorite mute little sister, Nezuko Kamado wields a unique blood demon art power called Exploding Blood. This involves being able to ignite her own blood into powerful pink-colored flames. Mirroring the goodness still inside Nezuko, the flames are also only harmful to demons and the things they own. That also includes other blood demon arts, and so we can see Nezuko use her blood powers not just for offense, but also for defense, being used to heal her allies from other demon magic. If you're a demon, you probably wouldn't want to be messing with this little sister. Badass brother aside, she's also quite the physical specimen herself, even being able to manipulate her own size to some extent. And if you do mess around with these siblings, Nezuko can even use Exploding Blood to enhance Tanjiro's sword to be red hot. My little sister can't possibly be this badass. So if you haven't already checked out more of Nezuko and Demon Slayer, it'll probably be around for a long time. Number 9. Suiting up for some yandere villainy, we have Toga Himiko. For some unknown reason, my favorite character on this list, Toga Himiko from My Hero Academia, is a whole bundle of crazy. And while that already sounds awesome enough for me, she also has the quirk Transform, which allows her to take on the appearance of anyone by consuming their blood. The more blood she drinks, the longer she can maintain their form. Toga's obsession with blood makes her a dangerous opponent and goes in harmony with her bloodthirsty nature. She is extremely proficient in close quarters combat despite being a high school girl with martial prowess that would fight right into Jujutsu High. Throughout the series, she also develops her villainous mind, growing wiser in her scheming. In later developments, she even unlocks the ability to use the quirks of those she transforms into, the catch being that they'd have to be one of the few she truly loves. Toga's unpredictability and fascination with the people she admires add a dark psychological element to her blood-based abilities. All this solidifies her as one of anime's most menacing characters, and one who I wouldn't mind giving a bit of my blood to. God, I wish she were real. Number 8.
受肉の恩は忘れろ。いいか弟たちよ。エソーは血図のために。
Throughout this top 10 list, he alone is the Jujutsu one. Welcome in Chousou. The greatest eldest brother on this list, Chousou is easily the strongest blood power user in the Jujutsu Kaisen verse. With his mastery of blood manipulation, Chousou can fire slicing blood like lasers, exploding balls of blood to shoot out smaller lasers, shoot out a stream of an even stronger laser, and finally, he can even shoot out his blood as rock. It's all quite epic stuff. He's pretty much a waterbender, but for blood, while also being able to solidify it strong enough to even defend against Yuji's monkey fists. But in all seriousness, while he does lag behind the many more overpowered characters in JJK, Chousou still holds his own as a ferocious foe capable of beating even an anime MC. And thankfully for Yuji, blood is indeed thicker than water. Number 7. Our real pillar on this list next up is Esidisi. Truly bringing me to tears whenever I remember him, Esidisi is one of the ancient pillar men of JoJo's bizarre adventure battle tendency. His signature ability involves his terrifying heat mode technique, which can bring his blood up to 500 degrees Celsius. Esidisi can also manipulate his blood vessels at will, able to extend them out from his body to be used as longer range delivery for his boiling blood. Kinda gross, but he can even send these out from between his fingernails, admittedly a visual closer to Parasite than JoJo. Also, by making holes in his body, he can exploit his blood vessels further, extending them out to perform the Wheel of Pain. Double gross! Just like the rest of the Pillar Men, Esidisi also wields cunning, intellect, and superhuman strength. Even after his body was destroyed, he managed to latch onto Suzy Q as a gross brain and even attempted to kamikaze her. All that along with his fiery blood-based powers make him a unique and lethal opponent, cementing him as one of the most dangerous blood-powered characters in anime. And probably the most grossest one in this list, Toga is not disgusting. Number 6.
どうやらあなたは最後の食材を拒まれるようだ。
Now sharing some prayers for this list, we have Nathaniel Hawthorne. An ability user working for the guild, Nathaniel Hawthorne is a straight-laced man of God who prioritizes getting the job done. All that comes crashing down, however, when his tsundere waifu, Margaret, takes a big fat L. Simping aside, Nathaniel is a powerful ability user who wields the Scarlet Letter, allowing him to turn his blood into holy words, which can pretty much do whatever he wants. From lasers to bullets and shields, his power is definitely one of the more straightforward ones in the Bungou Stray Dogs universe. All this gives him considerable firepower to hang with any of the characters in this series, and also makes him one of the more potent blood users on this list.
私はミニスター、ローマの遺物とは違う。
How are you bloody enjoying this list so far? See what I did there? If you appreciate the blood, sweat, and tears that went on with this video, consider leaving a super thanks and changing our lives. But while we're on the topic, what would you want your blood-based power to be if you had one? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. That aside, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video as always if you want to see more. Number 5. Moving on to the list, we have the hater of the unpleasant Mirai Kuriyama. Easily the most adorable entry on our list, Mirai Kuriyama is a bespectacled beauty who is not afraid to shed a bit of blood in a fight. A sole survivor of a shunned spirit world warrior clan, she brings with her the clan heritage of hemokinesis. Able to manipulate her blood into forming objects, she primarily makes use of her ability to create a sword for herself in combat. Add in her expert level swordsmanship, which would fit right into Sword Art Online, and she poses a serious threat to all sorts of supernatural yomu, or at least she would be if she wasn't scared stiff of these spooky beings. She also has the ability to form a sort of blood shield to ward off any ranged attacks or projectiles. And after releasing her anime limiters, her blood even turns acidic, allowing options for her own ranged attacks. With this all in mind, however, she is limited to her own blood capacity, and so she isn't able to form anything like a blood mecha, for example. This also means there's much food in her future, as her ability does lead to an anemic after effect.
いずれ食われるぞ。
Number 4. remunerating next into this list is Wei Zhijun. With Darker Than Black being one of my favorite classic anime, it's my pleasure to welcome Wei Zhijun to this list. Wei is an unusual contractor who shows strong emotion through his obsession with the MC Hei. I guess it's only natural as ever since gaining his blood-based power. He had never faced defeat until he came across the Black Reaper. Needing to shed his own blood to use his powers, he ends up a pretty lucky guy in hindsight since he needs the blood anyway. And with just a snap of his finger, anything his blood splatter touches teleports. Teleports where? Well, no one really knows. Kinda just goes to the void, I guess. Contractors aren't worth too much in this series though, without their hand-to-hand combat skills, and Wei has all the chops to go toe-to-toe with our leading man, or at least he likes to think so. Either way, he is definitely one of the more creative and limited powers on this list, and for that reason, it's one of the more interesting to see in action. Number 3. Blasting 13mm bullets into the scene, we have Alucard, the trump card of the Hellsing organization. Alucard is a no-brainer in this list, as the no-life king thrives in sucking the blood of his enemies. While his superhuman abilities and his skills with 13mm pistols already make him a formidable opponent, it's his use of blood that puts him closer to godhood than mere immortality. As a true vampire, Alucard can manipulate blood to regenerate from nearly any wound, making him almost impossible to kill. Beyond regeneration, he absorbs other souls through their blood, being able to call forth their forms and abilities for his own uses. His most notable display of blood control is his ability to release all at once the forms of every opponent he's killed in his long-lived life. With centuries of combat experience and an insatiable bloodlust, Alucard's loyalty to Hellsing organization is the only real chain that binds him from destroying all life. His sheer power makes him the ultimate vampire and the most powerful character on this list. Number 2. Dancing along to a sugar song, we have Klaus. This hulking figure may seem intimidating, but Klaus is every bit a leader and a good dude as you could ask for. Wielding a cross-shaped knuckle duster, his combat style is to manipulate his blood into all sorts of cross-shaped weaponry for combat. This includes turning his blood into solid crosses of all sorts of sizes. May it be for redirecting a truck or blocking attacks. Besides the typical stuff though, he is also capable of sealing away enemies with his combat style. His sealing form allows him to trap opponents into a small, little crucifix. This is also one of his preferred ways to finish a fight, as his good nature makes him avoid killing when possible. While he's definitely one of the furriest entries on our list, I would no doubt appreciate having Klaus back me up in any fight, especially against the monstrous sort. Number 1. Reaping last into our list, we have Crona, part of the shy and submissive bunch, kinda like me. Crona is easily one of the least intimidating characters on our list, but don't let that fool you, for this demon's blood is black. All this means is that they're capable of manipulating the hardness of the blood to such an extent that it could block shots from even the main character of Soul Eater. On top of wearing a gimp suit, Crona's magic weapon Ragnarok is also fused with the black blood, able to appear at will through their back and give a necessary pep talk. Because of the nature of the blood, Crona is also able to manipulate it even as it's outside their body for some spiky action. That's not all. Her blood manipulation is pretty much just levels above previously mentioned Mirai on this list, able to even create wings for some flight. Crona can pretty much create anything she puts her mind to. Good thing for us, there isn't much in there. Then again, that's just part of his blood user's charm. And that's all we got for this bloody episode. Is your heart still pumping? Share your thoughts in the comments down below. And as always, make sure to remember to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. We love having you around, and this job always gets our blood flowing. Until next time,